all dread meetings. In fact, you and I both know, because we've done it many times, when a meeting is canceled, we are left behind the screen celebrating. And this isn't a good thing because meetings are a leader's most powerful tool to align their teams and drive real outcomes. And yeah, when they're done poorly, they deserve all the bad reputation they get. They deserve to be bitched about behind closed doors, and they deserve to be talked about like they are completely a waste of time. I want to help you change that. I want to share with you 5 simple strategies right here that if you start utilizing today will allow for you to take 3 bad meetings and turn them into 1 good meeting. You'll be able to maximize time and build more engagement with your teams. The first way to do this is to define a clear purpose and clear outcome. The purpose of a meeting means why are we all here? The outcome of the meeting is what's different now that we've met. When you're looking at the purpose of the meeting, you want to use verbs. Budget planning meeting is not a good title. If it's a planning meeting, you want to say to decide on the plan or to implement a plan, it needs to be a verb and it needs to not include anything synonymous with the word meeting. Now you can change the title or the subject. I give you some freedom there on how it works best for you. But when you're doing that, you're actually providing clarity for the people that are going to that meeting. They can look at it and say, am I well equipped to be at this meeting and help solve this outcome? Do I even belong in this meeting? You will find people coming to these meetings more engaged. You will find your meetings moving faster, and it'll end with people making smarter decisions. This is important because 83% of the population, or of professional population, as stated in a HBR review, is that they spend 1/3 of their week in meetings. And when I've been talking to leaders as of late, they are telling me they are in upwards of 30 hours a meeting. I mean, some of these people are telling me they're in 15, 13 meetings a day. That is like back to back to back, and nothing is getting done. We need to make sure that those meetings are absolutely critical and that they're driving real impact. We do that by being intentional and naming our purpose and the outcome. Second tip, remove the meeting bloat or right size your meeting, however you want to phrase it. What needs to happen here is you need to ask yourself, who needs to act and who needs to decide? Those are the people that need to get the invitation. Everybody else can just get a summary. And I know right now you're thinking, well, I like to keep people in the loop or something like that. If that is what you are saying, that is a sign of dysfunction. That means that your communication tools or your leaders are not working as they should. And that is actually what you need to be paying attention to. Number 3, participation equity. What I mean here is the best example I have, and this is very, very much me. The loudest voices in the room are not always the smartest ideas. You need to remember this as you're trying to build equity in your participation of your meetings. Ways to do this is to start inviting people into the meetings. So oftentimes we're in a hybrid world here where some people are out at home on the computer, and then you might have another group of people that are all physically together. You really want to make sure that you're avoiding this concept of 2 different meetings happening at the same time. I've been in there. I've done the hit mute and we're all sitting there discussing while someone else is talking. This is really poor, this is really poor behavior and something that is your job as the leader of the meeting to eliminate and really bring people in. For example, I might say, oh, hey, Sarah, I know that you have some experience here. Would you mind getting off mute and jumping in? This does a few different things. It lets other people know in the meeting who's in the meeting. And also it draws recognition to someone and it gives them the opportunity to engage. Part of this too is not just like the engagement piece for that person, but there's a little bit too where if I know I'm going to be called on, I guarantee you I'm listening better than I was. And if I know this is something that you're doing. So you can start avoiding that classic, oh, hey, I'm sorry, can you repeat the question? I didn't hear it. That's how your meetings are going to move faster, is if you actually are having participation equity in your meetings, then people can be prepared and know that they might be called in and hopefully actually be able to add something because they're there for a reason, because you have also stated a clear purpose and outcome, right? The next strategy is actually bringing strategy into the order in which you run your meeting. So I really encourage you to, and challenge you really, to think about the order in which you're running your agenda. There may be a multitude of different tasks or discussion points, and of those points, they might be of varying difficulty. I want you, when you're with groups that you know and they're primed up and ready to go, maybe your leadership team or people you've worked with a lot, you can start there with the medium difficulty challenge and then move into the hardest one and then finish with the easy one. The purpose of this is to really help with the energy flow of your meeting. When you're with new groups, you might want to, and it's recommended that you start with the easiest subject, move into medium, and into the most challenging. The whole point of this is try your best to not start with the most difficult challenge, and even if it's the most pressing. This really does help optimize the engagement and the energy of the meeting and making sure that it flows well and stays on track. The last strategy I have for you is facilitate with skill. And what I mean by this is you are the role model of this situation, of facilitating this meeting. People are going to be watching you as the leader, how you run a meeting, and it is your opportunity to facilitate skillfully. This ends up becoming a pretty serious discipline because it is challenging and it is not so fun to maintain the meeting structure and following these steps and strategies that I've given you. But if you're able to, and you stick to, being authentic, being brief, that means, talking with brevity and brilliancy and being gone, you can, and being clear, right? If you're able to do those things and people are watching you do them, they will start to do the same. Additionally, when people, one of the famous things that happens, and I am 100% the girl who does this, grab the mic and runs with it, right? You need to be able to redirect people. So as you're facilitating, you need to recognize when someone is talking too long or getting off track. And you do this with respect. So you might say, hey, Harry, I really appreciate what you're saying here. It's great, but we are focused on X today. Can you share your thoughts on that? What you're doing is you're acknowledging what the person is saying, and you're also redirecting to keep your meeting on track. So meetings can be powerful, and they can be focused, and they can have alignment. But it is up to you to make sure that they're designed as such. That is all the tips. Those are the 5. I want you to now finish this and ask yourself, look at one of your meetings and say, do I have a purpose? Do I have an outcome? And do I have the right people in the room? I know this takes a lot of time up front, and it seems like it's more work than not, but I'm telling you that if you are able to follow these strategies, you will end up removing 3 meetings and having 1 good one as compared to having 3 bad meetings to fix the first meeting that you had, right? All right, that's it. My core thing here for you is you do not need to have more meetings. You need to have better ones, and I hope that you feel like you have the tools to do so. If you find this valuable, I would love it for you to subscribe over here. And in addition to that, I will be continue sharing, more of the leadership strategies. But also, I did promise at the beginning I would share with you my meeting template. That's right. And I want you to type in one strategy that you can utilize today, and I will be sure to send you the meeting reset template. I will see you next time. The next conversation we're going to have, and the next thing I want to talk about is the $8,000 meeting that solved nothing.